I've played Sonic Racing Crossworlds, but is it any fun? Turn the volume up, let's talk about it. Is it fun, the video game review series where we have gameplay in the background and we pretty much just answer the very simple question, is the game actually fun? We don't give it metrics out of 10 out of 10 or give scathing reviews. We just sort of answer the question, is it fun, and go through what the game is. So what is this game? It is a kart racer. We've done a few of these recently on the channel. They usually are just boring reskins of other kart races with a few different tracks. We've had Ed and Edda, we've had the Garfield Drag Racing 2 or Drift Racing 2, and they didn't review very well just because they're a bit soulless. This, however, is very, very different. It is expensive, unlike those games. This is priced as a fully fledged AAA game, but there is a lot of game here, so let's dive into it. First off, there is a lot more Grand Prix than 3 or 4. There is, I think it was 11. There are 3 races in every Grand Prix, plus then there's like a redo race of one of the 3 that you had out in. But the big hook in this game, I guess, is that every second lap of every single race is different. It'll be a lap of a different track. So you go through a ring portal, which is made canon by the movies, and you head off to a completely different track that you can either, whoever's first either can random or they can pick which track that's going to be. That will come up in an option for them whether they drive left or right. And yeah, you just do a second lap and a lap that you don't really have any control over, which I find refreshing and a very interesting way of doing things in this sort of genre, just because you can't really, time trial wise or anything, you can't really perfect what you're going to do because you don't know what that middle track is going to be. You can't build a car for a certain track because that middle track could be mostly on water, so you might need a better kart for when it comes to water, but you don't really know that ahead of time what that's going to be. So you kind of need all-rounder karts just to sort of get through all of that, especially when you're playing online. That can be all over the shop when it comes to those things, but that's the big hook of the game. It runs very similar to other ones. As I say, with these kart races, they're not the same. They rhyme, but there's a real rhyme to this one. So instead of red shells and green shells, they're red punching gloves and green punching gloves. The green punching glove, but if you are close enough, you can get a bit of a lock-on target to it, but it's not as far away as the red one, which I don't really like. I don't like some of the items that you use in this. I didn't get to use a bunch of the items. I played this game for about 7 hours, but because I'm never last for a prolonged period of time, I'm never getting some of the ridiculous items that seem to throw goo on people, which I assume is like the lightning bolt in Mario Kart. Just a lot of the items are pretty much taken from Mario Kart, reskinned and sent away. There's a boat that you can go on water, you can go on air with a plane, and obviously you can drive. So those are the 3 options. Again, very similar to Mario Kart. The one big difference between this and Mario Kart is this is the game that's not on the Nintendo network. So Mario Kart, you pretty much, if you don't have Nintendo, you're Nintendo don't. Where this is on everything. I think it's still not out on PC. I think it's a little bit away from PC. But because of that, the player numbers can be much, much more. So it does give you a lot more validity when playing, and there's a lot more options to run down, which I really like. There's all sorts of Sonic characters here. There's more than 20 to choose from. There's a few different pre-order bonuses and people that you can unlock in season passes. There's also some DLC of Minecraft characters, which is wild because I paid extra to get this game early, and to still need to pay more to get characters is pretty insane. So I'm hoping as the sort of roster fulfills, there's going to be more and more things that you unlock and head down. So yeah, bear in mind this game's only just come out. I'd be very curious to see where it's at in 2 years' time when it comes to characters. I think they've really milked everything from the Sonic universe. Obviously, there's probably some other characters that they can look at. But yeah, I think there's a lot more different crossovers they can do. Like Rayman's a prime example of someone that I could see coming into this and doing pretty well. Otherwise, head to Sony and just be like, hey, or Activision, and be like, how much for Spyro? Because Spyro hasn't done very much lately. We'll shove him in a cart. So those are the things that I have some ideas for the game when it comes to those things. But tracks-wise, there's lots of different varieties there. There's different game modes as well. So you've got Grand Prix, you've got Time Trial, you've got Online, which is just an online Grand Prix. Then you've got like these team battles. I didn't play a huge amount of this, but they seem pretty fun. I think it would be a little bit better if you had two people on a local controller or playing an online version of these team battles. But yeah, to flush that out, I think there'd be much more there. But the Grand Prix is quite fun. It has a rival system, so there's a rival that you're up against, and you can change the difficulty of how difficult that rival is. That will be the main person that will take you on in the championship. You don't really need to worry about the other competitors. They'll annoy you and things like that, but come the end of the 4 races, when it comes to who's won the actual Grand Prix, it is going to be your rival that's going to be the main one taking the firsts if you're not. So yeah, that's going to be the main person you need to watch out for, and maybe save a few items for the lower into the standings so to make sure you get that win. But yeah, that's pretty much the game in a nutshell. It runs pretty well. Like, I think it's a very clean, crisp kart racing game. There's lots of different options to unlock items. There's a weird currency system that you just get from racing. It's very easy to unlock things as you go along, so I didn't find that to be too much of a grind, unlike Mario Kart where you just kind of don't know what you're going to unlock. It's just that the coin system. This was a little bit better, but yeah, you just sort of unlock things as you go along, and then with that, you can change different parameters. The other thing that this game has is a grid card, which I don't love this at the start. It's good once you unlock all the different unlocks for it. So you get 6 slots, and some items cost, 3 slots, some 2, some 1. And some of them will be like you get a better boost at the start, you can get an item at the start, you can charge up your drift booster quicker, there's all sorts of different metrics that you can go from in this. That to go through all the items would take all day. So you can really build a setup the way that you want. The reason why I say it's a little bit weird is because if you play online, you've only got 2 of those unlock slots where you're versing people that have 6. And I found like once I started unlocking more, I started like always getting podiums online just because you've got that little bit of help just to help you along the way. And it might be that you've built a kart and it's just like, man, a little bit of stability or a little bit more traction would go a long way. So you can take one of those slots in your items there to use it that way. So yeah, but I do like that you can build a kart really the way that you want to suit your driving style. Because of chat and my brother who's on this YouTube channel, I was egg porn the entire time. He would not let me be anyone else. He was like, no, you'll be egg porn. So I don't think he was the best kart racer going when it came to his stats, but we got the job done and did what we needed to do. Ultimately, is it fun? Yes, it is a very fun game. It is expensive, but compared to the kart races that are half this price, there's way more than double the game here. Like, to be able to complete everything in all the different speed disciplines and get gold and everything and completely clock this game will take hours upon hours upon hours. So this is really bringing back to the older days of you buy a game, especially when you're young, and that was kind of the game that you had for a few months. This game is going to be that for a lot of people under the age of 13, just because you can get a lot of game out of it, in my opinion. So I think it's a really good purchase, even though it is a bit expensive. It's a bit more of an investment, just because there's a lot of game here, and if you are into the kart racing genre, instead of buying 2 of the shittier versions to try and milk that out, I'll just buy this one, and then yeah, you've got a lot of game here. It is a little bit quicker than other games, I will say, at least on the screen, so you really get that sense of speed, especially as the speed disciplines kind of go up and you start to get the supersonic races, which is like the 150cc's. That starts to really hit. The other thing I will mention too is it does have a coin pickup system. They're rings. If you maximum you can get is 100 unless you get an item that lets you go further. And you go faster when you have more rings. So that's the other thing that you get here. But this game can be a bit challenging and a bit punishing. Like if you hit a wall, you lose a couple of rings, which loses a bit of speed. So not only do you lose speed by hitting a wall, you then lose ultimate speed because you've lost a few rings. So keeping it on the track really does pay dividends. Like I found there was some races where if I just went off the racing line and the track and just went a little bit on the grass, it slows you down so much that everyone just starts shooting through you. The one negative I would say is, and a lot of kart races have this problem, is that there's not a ton of items for the top 3. So what I find is that the top 3, if they're good, they will zip away from the rest of the pack, because there's not really any items from 4 to 12 except for one that's kind of like a blue shell that really affects them up at the front. And I would see maybe one of them be shot a race, a blue shell. So what happens is you have a big lead from those 3, and then the mushy middle, everyone's kind of just attacking everyone else, because you just get a lot more items there that they can help you attack. But it just means from 4 to 12, you're just really hitting each other. So I do find that there's a bit of a 2-pack sort of system that sort of develops. A lot of kart races have this problem where that mushy, I call it the mushy middle, just because it is that. Like, it's just kind of like you fire a shot in anger with some sort of shell, but you've got something being shot at you. So there are less defensive options than I've seen in a lot of other kart races too. You can't really like hold a banana out or something so to not get hit by a shell. They don't really have that option. So that's another metric. That's another thing that I've been quite used to in a lot of kart races that's not here, which is a design choice by them. So I wouldn't say it's like a lazy or something that they've forgotten about, but yeah, like that. These are just a couple of the negative things that I'm mentioning, but the rest of it ran quite well. Online was great. You can't chat in online, which is a little bit annoying. I do like online games where you can talk to people and you pretty much yell at them when they do you dirty. But obviously, there's a lot of minors playing this game, so that makes a lot of sense. But that's just a personal preference for me. But I understand why you don't want people being groomed in Sonic Online servers. But yeah, ultimately, yes, I would recommend this game. There's a lot of game here, a lot of longevity. I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep playing it, so that's usually a good barometer for things going forward. Anyway, that is the whole review, so if you haven't made it this far, hit the subscribe button, because that really does help us out. Comment down below. I think comments do the most for videos, so even if you just have an opinion on Sonic or any kart races or really anything, put it down in the comments below. We can have a chat about it. If you like this game for different reasons to me, if you dislike the game, if there's a reason why you're not buying it, let me know, because that's always good to get those details, because when I do these reviews, I'm very much in my own world when I do them, so it's good to get a bit of context of like what the real people are doing outside when it comes to these things, because you're not really touching grass when you're playing video games. And hit the like button, because then it algorithms it to other people that algorithm it, and it helps out the video on the channel as well. But yeah, and we always put this at the end of the videos too, because I hate the mid ad reel for like, oh, do you know how many of you are not subscribed? No, I just want to watch the video. So this is when you get to the end bit, do this. Anyway, I'm going to edit this up, cut this up, and get on out of here. We got a fair few other videos coming up. More going to be news stuff this next week. I don't think there's a lot of game releases until next week. So, but then there's a fair few reviews in the next weeks coming. We've got Battlefield, we've got NASCAR. There's Painkiller's another one, and then there'll be some other games that I don't know is even coming out that will come out. But yeah, anyway, that's the whole video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you, and bye.